Hello, soulmates, and welcome to the Candid Conversations TV show with DocV. I'm Dr. Virginia LeBlanc Shazad, the Pivot Maestro and your heart surgeon for your soul hurts. I am so happy to be here today to bring back Dr. Minesha. I tell you, this is going to be life. I love Candid Conversations because it's a follow on to our podcast conversation where we spotlight our guests who are from all over the world doing all that they do, following their soul's purpose. And that's what we're all about at Defining Paths International, is do life and business with folks and just to present them to you so that you can find and live in your possibility mindset to serve, profit, and sustain like we all are doing. You are our why and our motivation, and we are here to help you navigate those waters and put you back in business as we rise together, right? That's what it's all about, as we rise together through true transparency and love. So, Candid Conversations is where we engage in real talk with our Define Your Path podcast guests about the real experiences, right? Their personal journey and their life and business intersection. So, we have truth, real talk. It's our norm without exception. So, it's all about helping you heal, rebuild, and transform your life from the inside out. So, let me quit talking. Real quick, you never know what you're going to get. So, we're just going to follow our flow. But I promise you it'll always be light, love, and life for your soul. So without further ado, we are bringing back Define Your Path podcast spotlight. Dr. Minesha Ruffin, Dr. M, welcome to the show. Welcome to Candid Conversations
Thank
TV.
you. Thank you for having me, Doc V. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Girl, always, always. And I tell you, I am just so excited. From that first day we met, I knew it was a divine appointment. And I thank you for saying yes and just being all in. So, audience, if you've not listened to her podcast, you need to go listen. It's on whatever your favorite platform. You can even tell, Amazon. I don't want to say her name because she's sitting right here. You know who to play it. Because she'll intervene in the conversation.
Okay. You stay ready. I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Or you can watch it right here on our YouTube channel at Defining Paths Online. So make sure you check that out. So let me remind you who Dr. M is, okay? Because she's the real deal, and I just adore her and what she's up to in the world and how she shows up. So she is affectionately known as the Peace Prophet. Love that already. So Dr. M is not just a life and leadership doctor, she's a movement, right? For over 15 years, she's guided leaders, entrepreneurs, and families in reclaiming the one thing that success often steals, their peace, right? Our peace, that's so important. She's a wife, a mother of 6, and a visionary entrepreneur who believes that you don't have to choose between building your legacy and loving your life. So good and so powerful. Dr. M, let's just pick up where we left off, follow our flow. And how about starting with how you've risen from the ashes, sis? So go for it.
Oh, that's a loaded question, Doc.
That's a loaded question. That's what Candid Conversations is about.
And I think the reason why is because I truly see life as like a blessing and burdens. Like it's a blend, high and low. So those ashes, those moments of ashes literally are just that. They're moments that are weaved in and out throughout our journey and our story. And so if I had to just pull a highlight, I believe one of the most challenging highlights for me was when I got the call that I needed to rush down from Tampa at the time to Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. And my sister, 27 at the time, was unresponsive. And by the time we got there, I called my prayer partners and everything, but it was just something like while we were praying, I had this vision of myself at the funeral and while we were praying. And so it was like God was really just preparing me for that. But I still stayed, diligent as we were going down there. I was in prayer. And sure enough, about an hour before I got there, when we were at the gas station, I got a call that my baby sister was gone. And she left behind a 9-year-old daughter who I now have as our bonus child. And she reminds me so much of my sister. I was in a marriage at that time for 11 years. And it wasn't until that transition that, that was the ash moment, but those ashes just brought points of revelation and insight. You just lean in
Yeah.
when, you know what I'm saying? And then at
Yeah.
that point, I realized that the marriage, I could either keep going,
Mhm.
or I could create this boldness the way my sister had. And
Yeah.
I went on a fast, and I did not move up. I did not let up until I felt that it was time. And when it was, I got clarity
Mhm.
that would need to be our next step. So about 30 to 40 days after, I was moving into transitioning into a divorce. Never
Mhm.
said the word. The word wasn't even allowed in our house.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I remember when my daughter was like 7 years old, she had a dream, and she came to me and she says, "Mommy, I dreamed that you and Daddy want to be." I said, "No, baby, don't ever say that. We're always going to be
Yeah.
together." It just goes to show how life
Yeah.
is, right? Life.
Girl. Girl. And
If
kids
you
see
want to
things.
make
Yes.
God laugh, tell him, right?
Right.
So I'm like, "Of
Tell them your
course not.
plans.
Never. I'm going to
Mhm.
stick this out. I'm going to."
Right.
But for most of the marriage, it was really just very prayer, hope, it's just kind of like just
Yeah.
really spending most of your time and hoping of what it could be versus living in what it
Right.
could. And it was years of that. And so it got to a point where I just had to release,
Yeah.
and about 30 days before that, my client who I was working with, she passed
Yeah.
away from cancer, stage 4
Mm.
cancer. So all this is happening
Yes.
like in a 90-day window, right?
Wow.
And so that
Yes.
was my first time experience. We were praying with her and believing God for her. She was a pastor's wife, beautiful soul,
Yeah.
gladiator for the kingdom of God.
Yes.
And she passed away. It was disheartening to say the least. But I'd
Yeah.
never really experienced a funeral before outside of never.
Mm.
So my heart just really, really goes out to people that experience loss, because I was blessed to
Yes.
say it was in my 30s before I experienced it.
Wow.
And
Yes. That
I
is blessing.
the blessing in it was that I experienced what a funeral was to somebody that was close to me before it happened to my sister. God
Mhm.
understands his children, right? And I
Yes.
needed
Yes, he does.
preparation. So he
Yeah.
had to prepare me.
Yeah.
And although it's nothing like losing your sister, it did help a lot. And about, I would say, 45 days after that, my mom, she had a child care center for 27 years,
Mhm.
and she couldn't go back after she got the news. So I went straight
Mhm.
in to running the business until we could sell it.
Yeah.
So I ran the
Yeah.
business for about a year. I added my bonus baby now into our home.
Yeah.
And so here I am navigating the divorce, navigating a new daughter in the home. My kids are now in a new state, so they're going through their
Yeah.
transition as well, right?
Mhm.
And my
Mhm.
client, so it was like this layered grief. And I realized that grief and healing, they're two things that people tend to mesh together, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Grief feels like love with nowhere to go, you know,
Mm.
and
Mm. Yes.
it's a feeling that comes over you, and it can come at any point. And
Yes.
those were what I can consider to be ash moments, It just
Yeah.
it can hit you, and it's about what you do from the time that ash moment happens and the
Yes.
gap between your ability to be able to bounce back. That's
Yeah.
all life is. It's a cycle of that. Blessings and burdens, pain and
Yeah.
pleasure, a cycle. And so, one of the things that I teach, because people have always said that my ability to be able to go through tough times with
Yes.
grace is a gift. And I did not know
Mhm.
that it was until that
Yes.
season. Because, although I felt it and I allow myself to feel it, there was a sense of peace that passed all understanding. I did get a
Mm.
chance to experience that and to feel that. And so
Yes.
now a large part of my work, Doc, is to share with leaders how to ebb and
Mhm.
flow through the pain and the
Oh,
pleasure, the
I love
blessings
it.
and the burdens, so that you can
Yes.
keep your eyes on the prize. Because at the end of the day, we
Yes,
want to hear
girl.
those words, "Well done, my good and
Well
faithful."
done.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
my dad says this. He says, "If God will get you to it, he'll get you through it."
Girl, look.
Oh, that's his favorite line. Boy, I love my
Right.
dad. If
That's
God will
right.
get you to it, he'll get you
He'll get
through
you
it.
through it. Oh my
And
goodness.
it's true. Sometimes in the moment it doesn't feel it. So anybody who's listening to this and they're right
Yes.
smack in the middle of that ash moment, just
Yes.
settle yourself in knowing that it literally is just a moment. And no matter what
Mm.
comes, what life hits, one thing for sure, there's always that silver lining. Just like God always
Always.
provides an escape to temptation, he always provides that silver lining, according to Psalms
Yes.
91, where he's working it all out for our good in the end,
Oh, yes.
so.
Girl, look, I felt all of that. Look, I need one of those soundboards. I'm telling you, I can just be hitting buttons while you're. Oh my gosh, girl, there was so many just profound diamond gold nuggets in
Yeah.
everything you just said. That's real. That's real talk,
Mhm.
right? Because
Yeah, for
we
real.
walk around, we think and I don't know, we live in these bubbles, and when life happens, a lot of times when you stay in those bubbles, then you don't know how to pivot, and that soul
Absolutely.
hurt is even deeper, and
Absolutely.
so you said something that was so profound, and my husband says it all the time. We talk about it, how people put a lot of trust in, or they hope, right? But hope carries doubt, so that's why
Hey,
we have to find our faith, right?
that's so
And
good.
belief in something higher,
That's
in a
it.
creator who, I mean, because, we didn't just poof and just show up here one day, right? So we
Right?
have to find our faith, to find
Right.
our strength and to be able to navigate this world. And, how you teach about just life being, it's a roller coaster ride, right? For a lack of a better term, that just popped into
Sometimes it
my
feels
head.
like it. Yeah, it can
Right.
feel like that.
And you have to learn how to ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. That's what it's about, right? But yeah, we try to grab those rings. We try to control the roller coaster. We try to control the horse. No, we can't. We have to learn how
Yes.
to ebb and
It's gonna
flow.
happen anyway. It's almost like, I love the way you
Yes.
use roller coaster, because if you think about the amusement park, one
Yes.
person can go through that same experience, and the whole time they're holding on tight and they got
Right.
their eyes closed, they don't see anything,
Right.
and then the same person, same exact roller coaster, they're
Yeah.
just they're just letting their hands up. They're just like
Yes.
yelling to the like, just enjoying the moment. The same roller coaster, two different experiences.
Yes.
And the best part about it is we get to decide how we
We get to
experience it.
decide.
We're going to experience
Yes.
it regardless. So you
Right.
might as well lift your hands up and just yell.
Enjoy the ride, girl.
Just
Enjoy the ride.
enjoy it as much as you can. It's gonna dip, it's gonna fall, it's gonna swerve. Whoa,
Right.
and yeah, and life becomes enjoyable like that when you know to expect it and you put that perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, one of the biggest things that I can say that I do
Mm-hmm.
that helps with
Mm-hmm.
resilience is grab that lesson. What is this here to
Yes.
teach me? And once you get those
Yes.
golden gems, it's like it was good that I was afflicted. You have those
Yes.
moments because you can clearly see how this served me, right?
Right. Right. Well, I mean, Bible tells count it all joy, right? It's all,
That's
it's
true.
all for our good. It's all for just our knowledge, our education, our strengthening, all of that, right? And then we start to live more in that faith space where when life happens, we kind of expect it. Girl, my husband and I laugh about it now. We're like, well, there it goes, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Laughter is, oh gosh, it's so, when you talk about joy, it's food for the
Yes,
soul. And
yes,
sometimes that's what
yes,
I did. There were seasons where you just have to laugh at yourself and just
yeah,
really confuse the enemy. Like, you know what? Just laugh. And
yeah,
that has shifted me out a lot. I feel led to share this Ash
yeah.
moment. It just is coming really strong to me in memory.
Please.
And I did not realize that depression was knocking at my door. I didn't even
Mm,
realize it was happening.
girl. Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to share this with someone that may be listening, is that the way in which I was able to like stay under the radar was,
Mm-hmm.
one, you want to isolate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
getting out of community. And
Mm-hmm.
then two, what you tend to do is hold on to routine. So there was a lot of points in my life where I realized those Ash moments,
Yes.
especially when my sister passed. That was a pain, unexpected pain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that I remember doing the dishes and like almost like not feeling, Just
Yes.
going through the motions, running the business,
Mm-hmm.
talking to the staff, getting up, doing what I
Mm-hmm.
knew to do. And it's
Yeah.
like this autopilot type of thing where
Yeah.
your body is moving, but
Mm-hmm.
there's shallow. It's nothing really
Yes.
there,
Yeah.
And I remember moments that would take me out of those trance were
Mm-hmm.
hearing my kids laugh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, finding little moments that would kind of pull me out of it. But during the time, I did not know that's what was happening. And so I
Right.
say that to say two things. One is that you never know how the strong friend is doing. And you
Mm-hmm.
never want to assume
Girl.
that they're all good because it doesn't
Mm.
always look like I was running a business.
Yes.
I was that, no one would have ever thought, but that's what was going on during that season.
Yes.
And so that's why I love the peace driven leader message so much, Doc, is because
Mm-hmm.
when you really live, love, and lead with that posture, you're
Yes.
able to hear the people who are in
Mm.
need of a word of
Yes.
encouragement. I'll never
Yes.
forget there was one friend who was just a Facebook friend. I knew her back in college. I'll
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
forget the morning she called me.
Mm.
I remember where I was standing when my sister passed about 3 weeks after. She called me and she just gave me a word of courage. It was like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock. I was already at the daycare.
Yeah.
That one moment kept my arms up. You just
Mm.
don't know. Sometimes people think it's, oh, I got to send this card. I got to put a gift together. I got to, no, it's
Yes.
just as simple as I'm thinking of you. And sometimes we get
Yes.
so busy and
Mm-hmm.
so inundated with these glorified distractions that we
Girl.
miss the seemingly insignificant opportunities to show up for the people that are in our circle. And that's why I love the work that I do because, you're
Yes.
able to hear, you're able to be
Yes.
sensitive. And that's what it's
Yes.
about.
That's what it's about. And literally, like I just came out as girl, you sure we didn't it's literally like you're speaking the life I've lived over the past several years, right? God will
Mhm.
remove you, right? He'll remove you from places, people, communities, things for your so that you can breathe, right? And for
That's
your
it.
recovery and for your healing and
Yes.
growth so that you can
Yes.
continue on in your mission set and what he's called you to do.
Absolutely.
And so many of us will kick against that, particularly, girl, as type A's and we used to go and
Oh,
doing
yeah.
handling business, making it
Oh,
happen,
yeah.
whatever, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that was so foreign to me. But he sent me my husband who just girl, truly of God,
Mm.
from God, just
Yeah. Oh,
who
I
helps
can.
me with
Yes.
that who
Yes.
helped me with that girl who allowed me to rest even when I'm trying to do right and he's like just rest I couldn't
Yes.
hear that for a while
Yes. Yes.
and
Well,
but then
it's a trauma response too, Doc.
it
Like,
is
yeah,
speak
it's a
on it,
trauma
yes,
response. Yeah, and that's another thing too, as a part of the peace-driven leader way, is
yeah,
that being able to teach leaders how to check in with themselves and
mm-hmm.
honor their body. There's a
Yes,
mind-body connection that is really missed.
always,
It's one of the hugest
mm-hmm.
blind spot for our leaders.
It
Do you
is,
know every decision happens in our body first?
yes,
But we'll
mm-hmm.
work and we'll be so mission forward. Our body is like, I'm thirsty, I'm
Yes,
hungry, I'm
right,
tired,
mm-hmm.
and we dismiss it. But if we were in
Right,
any relationship that
yes,
did that, it would be abusive. It would
it would,
literally be neglectful.
girl,
And
it'd be
when
a
I
whole
think
problem,
about
right,
and
yeah,
I think about
yeah,
the body, it's the longest relationship we'll ever have.
yes,
It's the longest relationship. It's the
yes,
entity that has never left us,
yes.
that is here, loyal, shows up for us every morning. But yet we treat it like crap.
We forsake it.
And
Yeah.
so that is the thing, it's the temple. And so
Yes.
when we get back to the God's original intent of the body being the
Hmm.
temple, right? And we
Yes.
honor it, it's literally signaling to us when things are
Hmm.
off. I literally just my body told me that a business project I've been working on for 9 months,
Hmm.
that the person was not being forthright and it was something
Hmm.
that was off with it. And sure
Yeah.
enough, God exposed it.
Mm.
It happened in my gut first, and
Yes.
I was able to make
Yes.
the pivot. I was able to make the
Hmm.
pivot. The pivot
Yeah.
saved me about $30,000, Doc.
Girl, I bet.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So
Because
people
yeah.
don't understand. I say peace profit.
Yes.
People's not understanding the layers of what that means.
Yes.
Is when you are running and going and going, and when you don't have your documents exceptionally organized, you're paying out stuff you shouldn't be paying. You not strategizing. You got a car that the insurance could have been paused on it while you figure something out. And you wasn't thinking
Girl,
about it. Now you done paid 6 months on the insurance because you didn't slow down long enough. It's
girl, get out
money
of my life.
money, money just dribble because we won't slow down long enough to be still and to get true solutions, and it'll save us time, money, and energy. You
Yes.
know.
Girl, oh
So
my God.
truly, our profit is really in our peace. And one of the things that I really do, I love to talk about too, Doc, especially for leaders, high achieving leaders, especially. I
Yeah.
believe I'm about to make a very bold claim. You ready?
Do it.
This is bold now. I
Do it.
believe that every 21st century leader
Mm-hmm.
must have an executive assistant and a pro team. We cannot
Yes.
continue to do God's will with
Yes.
our piecemeal delegation system and doing everything and being all things and being this one woman show and one leader show. That is
Girl,
not good stewardship. I
no.
truly believe, especially in the 21st century, with all the roles that
Yes.
the average woman plays today, it
Yes.
is necessary. And in fact,
Yes.
it is the new standard
It
for
is.
every leader who says that they are serious about
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling their assignment. They need to have
Yes.
professional, skilled support.
Girl,
They
where's
can't
mama?
afford not to, you
No,
know?
you
So
cannot.
that is the type of work that we do. We prepare that leader to
Yes.
get all of their boundaries, organization, sustainable systems completely aligned so that they
Mm-hmm.
can be prepared to bring on a protein and
Mm-hmm.
teach them how to properly delegate. The level of acceleration that the people who use our
Yes.
system experience is unbelievable, especially for people who are 60 years old. They look back at their life and they're like, dang, I'm not where I thought I was going to be. Or when you hit
Right.
40, and you're like, what? I'm already 40? I gotta really, start at the time, or you just pour into your kids so much. By the time they
Yeah.
leave, there's a whole reinvented process that's happened, or your kids are young, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
harder to fulfill your dreams and impart into your children. That's why you got to have systems and support. It just doesn't make
Girl.
sense. It's not good on your nervous system.
Nope.
Your people are getting diagnosed with stuff and getting, premature death.
Yes, because what
Yes,
we don't realize, stress kills, and stress is real,
absolutely. It's
right?
so real.
In the chronic inflammation that starts happening in the
Yes.
body because of stress, it's
Doc,
at the core
telling
of
you, it
yes.
really. I watched a documentary last night, and this lady
Yeah.
was a vegan. This lady
Yeah.
worked out,
Yeah.
but because she was such in a high stress environment, it
Mm-hmm.
created inflammation in her body, and she's fighting cancer. That is just it lets you know that stress
Yes.
is real.
Girl.
And
Mm-hmm.
go ahead,
No,
because
I was
I'm
just
passionate about
no, girl, no. I want you to speak on it. I'm just co-signing because it's literally
it.
the number one undiagnosed or diagnosis not shared that's at the heart of
I
practically
agree of
every
everything.
disease of
Yeah,
everything.
every single disease. And
Yeah.
that's why the peace-driven leader, I'm thankful that God is bringing it at a time like this, because
Hmm.
5 years ago, when I really wanted God to get it out, the
Yeah.
people weren't ready. There wasn't enough
No.
pain associated.
Mm-mm.
They really believed they could do it all.
Oh,
But
girl,
now
you didn't
that
said a
they can't
mouthful.
rely on government, now they see like the things that used to be is not. Now they got AI.
Girl.
They have to try to figure out how to learn all these different like
Yes.
now that people are being successful and making money quick now,
Mm-hmm.
success is a burden. You talk about ashes,
Mm-hmm.
blessings, and burdens.
Yes.
Boy, look at here. Nobody talking about the burdens and the pressure that come with success.
Yes, girl. And that's what defining paths, that's what we're doing in defining paths. We're just helping people be prepared in those four pillars: mind, body, soul, business. They're all one, they're all interconnected. You can't ignore one and think the other is going to be well and all is going to be well with your soul, right? And for us,
Oh, I love it.
soul led folks who are called to that higher level, who have literally, we're called to shepherd folks, right? And
Yes,
to help them,
yes,
just walk in
yes.
their purpose.
Right.
We
Yeah.
have to stop trying to be
We have to.
solopreneurs and
We have
and
to.
oh, we can do all things by ourselves.
Yeah.
No, that's not the word. That's not. That's
Yes.
not what we're called to.
Yes.
You
And
know, and
I'll get you when you talked about the four pillars in your
yes.
movement, you and your
Yeah.
husband. Well, the way I thought about it was like, because always
Hmm.
talk about journey because we
Yes.
deal with
Hmm.
journey and a path, a very
Yes.
specific path. And I
Hmm.
thought about a vehicle and the four pillars that you mentioned being like the
Yes.
tires. And
Mm.
if you're listening to this right now, if you could just close your eyes for a moment and imagine you on the
Yes.
road, you're driving. God is a GPS, hopefully, but you
Hmm.
are taking your path to your God-given destination where you feel is your message, right? Because it's not about what you're going to do today and tomorrow. It's about that one message that you believe in your soul that you were sent here to do. You could do that one message through different business models. You could do it through different gifts because all of us have different gifts. But that one message is what we are called to bring, whatever that is for you. And you are focused front line. And can you imagine when you talk about those four areas in your movement
Yes.
as tires, one of those tires being flat, one of
Mm.
those tires, you see what I'm saying? Can you imagine what happens
Girl.
if one of them pops because the air is too much pressure in that tire?
Yes.
And you're driving there and you're focused and you have the GPS, but
Hmm.
the tires haven't been rotated.
Right.
So you're not going to get where you're going, you know?
Girl.
It doesn't matter even when you have God and when you have the direction and you know where you're
Yes.
going. You have the big windshield and you can see where you're going. It
Yes.
doesn't matter if your transportation requires four wheels that need to be in alignment and they need to be in
Yes.
good condition. It is not wise to go on a journey with bad tires.
Girl, look, I don't even know what's happening right. Well, I do know what's happening. This is God. Literally, when we talk to people, when we share, when we're ministering, because, we're a traveling business ministry also, in addition to a movement,
Ah,
we use the image of a car, sis. Dr. M, we use the
wow.
image of a car. And like when we're building their
Wow.
business and but we use it in the sense also of how so many people are just getting scammed. So thank you for bearing
Yes,
your soul and sharing that whole
yes,
30K situation incident,
yes.
because that's happening to me a couple of times, and because I'm hard-headed and I
Ah,
had to
Anita.
learn a lesson.
Yeah, me
But
too.
we're building we build when we build businesses, we give you the whole car with all the
Mm,
tires, right? Rotated, and we keep aligning it for
mm,
you. And we use that
woo.
image instead of people piecemealing and trying to leverage you and constantly get money off of you and constantly upselling you and all of this,
Yes,
right? This is the old business model that is
it
dying
is.
away, and people
It
are
is.
they're hanging on
Absolutely.
for dear life. It's the
Absolutely.
old way, right? But that's the
Absolutely.
soul snuffing out way. That is
I
not the
love it.
life-giving way. And there are
Absolutely.
people, and girl, look, God, have your way. There are people who claim to be, and that's between them and him, who claim to be sent to do
That's
kingdom
right.
business and business ministry and all of this, right? But you're trying to put new wine in old wineskin,
Ooh, you're talking
and you're
good.
hurting people. You're hurting people. You're leveraging people. You're using a worldly model and systems that were never meant for us, right?
Talking
That were
good.
meant to exploit people instead of bringing life to people. We're doing things
Talking
that are
good.
life snuffing instead of life giving, right? Because we're afraid
Mm,
of the truth. We're still
mm,
operating in fear, right? When you're trying to
mm,
put those worldly models on top of godly work, you're in fear,
mm.
right? You're in fear of scarcity, of security, of lack, of all these things, right? You can't serve two masters, right?
Mm.
Literally, he tells us that. And when we're trying to serve a worldly model in a godly, with godly principles, that doesn't mesh.
That's right.
It
You know,
does not
another thing
mesh.
that
Mhm.
came to me too, when we think about just
Yeah.
blind spots and things that people of God tend
Hmm.
to do that causes us to misstep. And I'm speaking for
Hmm.
myself. This is a
Yeah.
revelation that created an ash moment for me.
Yeah.
Was that when you want success because you had a life that you had a life that really created pain around not having financial freedom,
Yes.
and you more than anything, it's not a selfish desire. You really want to advance the
Right.
kingdom of God. And for
Right.
me, I want the good-hearted people to experience
Yes.
what good success is so that they don't crush their family and their marriage on their way.
Yes.
You
Yes.
cannot tear down your castle to build your empire. I will
No,
say that again. You
girl, that's
cannot
powerful.
tear down your castle in order to build your empire. And there is not a blueprint in the world that can truly
Mm-hmm.
show you how to have good success. Good success is
Mm-hmm.
spoken in the Bible. If you know that the Bible speaks of good success, you know there has to be the opposite
Mm-hmm.
of that success to experience, right?
Yes.
And so, one of the breakthrough points for me that caused me to go and create a business model that worked for me was
Yeah.
really understanding my human design.
Yeah. Oh.
Understanding, yeah, that right
Mm-hmm.
there, that
Me too,
experience,
girl. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Mm,
really
please.
brought confirmation because I'm a
Yes.
responder. I do well in podcasts. That's why I'm
Mm.
on a podcast with you now. I don't do
Yes.
well going out promoting on social media, putting content there.
Yeah.
That's not how I'm designed. And a lot of
Yes.
times we put business together based off of other people's systems
Girl.
on how God created them. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
convolutes it. And that's why it's so good when we talk about peace-driven leadership, is that
Yes.
we allow the client to go back to the basics, to their
Mm-hmm.
skills, their gifts, their talents,
Mm-hmm.
what has
Mm-hmm.
caused them success in the past consistently, what is consistently working, what is natural. You're supposed to be in the kingdom. You're supposed to
Yes.
be receiving profit so effortlessly, it doesn't even
Mm-hmm.
feel like work. The number
Yeah.
one way to preserve your energy is by being yourself. Think
Being
about it.
yourself.
If you are going on a path and you're running and racing, going as fast as you can, you're going to
Right.
get tired. But if you're
Yes.
just walking the way God has created you to walk like regular, you're going to have more endurance. You're going to feel like you can do it because you're just walking. You're
Yes.
just being normal. Can you
Exactly.
imagine making profit just being yourself?
Girl.
That's the key. That's what
Yes.
God wants because He was intentional when He created you. He does not want you to be the next this person or the next Oprah or the next whoever these people
Yes.
are out here that we look at and we admire. They found their blueprint, their design, the way they're
Mm-hmm.
wired. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that when you find that soulmate sweet spot, then
Yes.
that's the fastest path to cash. It's the fastest path to income. It's
Yes.
the fastest path to impact, which is what
Yes.
good success is. It's the blend of income and impact. What good is
Yes.
income if you don't have the impact? What good is income if you're not making impact in your marriage and in your home amongst the people that
Exactly.
matter most?
Exactly. What does it profit to
That's
gain the
that.
world and lose your soul,
Lose your
right?
soul.
The impact is where it is because you can't take money with you. You know, you can't you can't take it with
Yeah,
you. You know, it's not a
yeah,
God currency. It's not a
right.
creator currency. Man created that for its purpose.
Yeah.
But I tell you, girl, that is so powerful. And I love the fact that you brought up human design because that was an eye opener for me. Because I was going and
Mhm.
doing things and wondered why my energy was crazy and low and all of that, and I discovered that, I'm a generator, right? And
You
so I
do.
and I don't chase, I attract
That's it.
now. I live in
That's
that
right.
space.
That's
So
it.
I'm not going in. That's why, my husband Sam and I, we teach serving, right? That's what we were
That's
supposed to
it.
always do.
Servant
We were supposed to
leadership.
be of service,
Service.
right? Not going down trying to chase people, selling to them, and until we drive them crazy, or
Yeah. It even feel,
or
if you're honest with ourselves, it
mhm.
feels nasty.
It feels
Like
nasty.
to me, it just when you're doing it doesn't even feel natural. It's not
Mm-mm.
how God designed it. And one of the you talk about currency. One of the
Mm-hmm.
largest currency in the kingdom of God that we overlook is
Yeah.
relationships. It's
Yes.
it's relationship. It's relationship
Relation.
currency.
It.
It's its
That's what it is.
own currency. And so I designed the business model that I have based off
Mm-hmm.
of referrals and
Yes.
relationships.
Same.
I work
Right.
with
Mm-hmm.
people that know the people that so if you work with me,
Yes.
it's because I know someone that
Yeah.
and I would create this referral network because
Yes.
that to me is where it is. You have a group of people who can vouch for each other, who are in alignment,
Mm-hmm.
like-minded, and you can literally build a successful business with
Yes.
people being your source of connection. Like
Yeah.
you can.
That's what it was supposed to be. Oh, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
All
yeah.
along.
No,
And
and
that's
biblical
so,
times too. Yeah, even when
yeah,
they bartered and went to the
that's what it
market and all that.
was.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
going back to the basics, right? Going back to
right.
the original intent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about relationships. That's why, we're not transactional people. We're gonna build relationship, right? That's why we say we like to do life and business with folks who come into our circle, into our community and in whatever way. And that's what it's supposed to be, sis. It's not supposed to be transactional, right?
Right. I'll say this. I'll say this out because nobody would want to say this. This is that we talk
Mhm.
about blessings and burdens.
Right.
The part that people, and this is why they don't do the relational piece as much, is because it takes more work, right?
Mm,
But it's such a rich experience. So, for
hmm.
example, when I do my outreach to meet and connect with people,
Yeah.
I'm looking at them, I'm researching that my team does, I'm
Hmm.
pulling real things. We don't copy and paste generic messages.
No,
We're going to
no.
always make sure there's something in there. I do
Hmm.
personal phone calls. If I invite you to an event, I will hire
Yeah.
someone, a real
Yeah.
human, to make phone calls and connect.
Right.
It costs a little extra sometimes. It does take more time, and that's the piece I want to make sure that we stamp on the recording as well. Is that to whom
Yeah.
much is given, much is required. So it's that
Yes.
yes, it does
Mm.
give you a great blessing when you really base your business and your for relationships, but you have to
Mhm.
go into it with that heart to serve. And when you do
Absolutely.
that, right, you do that. It takes you're going to take these people's journey notes, whoever business or whatever business you're in. You got to
Mhm.
really care about those people and know how they're going through your process, whatever your process is. You have to
Right.
have systems in your business. And that's why I love that you all do all this stuff for you,
Yes.
because the fact that you all already have that philosophy built into your business, and a
Right.
person is starting a business, that is the hardest part, is putting those systems in place that's going to nurture truly organic relationships. That's what it's about,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and the beauty about, our family boutique business is that we are a family, right? So that's the mentality we bring to anyone who comes into our ecosystem, and it's co-collaborating and creating
Yes,
together, right? So, it's not ego driven or what have you. It's literally, and we don't do cookie cut or anything. So it's
yes,
about being true to your soul, right? Being true to your
yes.
calling, and making sure that that person feels heard, right? Because that's something else we desire as human beings. We just want to be heard, right? We just
Seen
want to be
and
heard.
heard.
We wanted to be
Mm,
treated well. We want to be loved, regardless if people think
yeah,
they don't. But
yeah.
these are basic things that
Human
bring
needs.
life and food for the soul,
Yes, yes.
and so it's
And that the
so
best
Mhm,
entrepreneurs, this is what I heard, the best
mhm,
entrepreneurs that
mhm.
come up with the greatest products really start from a place of genuine care for others. You
That,
think about it.
yes. Hmm.
You see it, you see a pain point, you see something that even those who are listening, your business now, you
Hmm.
created it because there was some pain and there was some compassion that
Hmm.
came in, that you said, you know what, I'm going to create a solution for this
Hmm.
so that people don't have to go through XYZ pain. That's where it
Exactly.
starts. Businesses
Yep.
are seeds of compassion, and they
Yes.
have to
Oh,
say
y-
that in order to be
yes.
aligned. That's
Yes.
that's how the greatest business start, because you're
Girl,
literally thinking about relieving someone else's pain or giving them greater
absolutely.
pleasure, in their experience, but
Yes.
it comes from care, you
Yes.
know?
Girl,
And
look
so
at
that's the beauty.
and that whole philosophy and following that brought me my husband. Because
Yes.
I think I've
Oh,
shared with you, I was his client years ago.
you did. You were just glad. That was wild. Listen,
Yeah.
nothing beats the story of me falling in love with my husband who's 30 years my senior. Talk
Yes,
about a plot
girl.
twist.
Girl, look, you
You
know
never
what?
know how
But
God does it.
God, you never know. You never know because I didn't see my husband coming at all, right? And I'm the older
Yeah.
woman, so hey, I wear that
Yep.
proudly.
So he's younger than you. Your husband's younger than you.
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
wow! So we flipped. We flipped. That's
We flip, girl.
hilarious.
Yes,
That's hilarious.
but it's a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing because he answered the call. He left corporate and building these Kickstarter companies for these venture capitalists and equities and all that. And
All
he
right.
because he felt his soul was being snuffed out, right? And so
Oh
he just
yeah.
wandered into a town hall one day, ran into a group of single mothers who were in business, trying to build businesses and what have you. And literally, so now what we do on that side of the house, we literally bring a micro model of what he did, the experience that he gave to them,
Wow.
to solopreneurs and small businesses, to help lift
Wow.
them up, to stand them up. And
That is
literally,
awesome.
because that infrastructure work, that inside out, it's not just, it needs to happen in our person. That's my side of the house, right? But
Yes,
dealing with those soul hurts and all that. But we also have soul hurts that affect our business. And if our
that's
business
it.
isn't built on that solid foundation, right? Because
That's
that's
right.
what our slogan, success is built on a firm foundation. We need that firm foundation in our mind, in our body, in our soul, and in our business if we are going to
Right, right.
impact and positively, affect the world, and do,
That's right.
especially when you're doing the kingdom building work. You can't come half stepping. And
That's right.
this is the thing that I'm seeing so much of. And literally, I have a gut reaction when I see stuff that's put out there that is supposed to be working for one thing, right? For the godly principles or what have you. And then, but it's serving that other master, right?
Mm,
It's not driven
on good
by,
success.
exactly, it's not the
And
good
you know
success
what?
that's
There's
being
another
sought.
thing too. When I listen
Hmm.
to you and what you
Hmm.
bring, that
Hmm.
that component, my zone, is that
Hmm.
home. When you talked
Yes.
about the business, so the same thing that you all
Hmm.
do on the business front, just to give people an illustration of my work,
Yeah.
it's the home life.
Yes.
Because it starts what you said as in the leader showing up as a leader,
Hmm.
that loves, lives, and lead differently, loving, with extreme, unconditional love and
Yes.
grace, and
Hmm.
that role as a parent and as a wife, because that
Yeah.
soul work that you do, it really does mirror in your home. And
It
I will
does.
tell you, just really practical, one of the things
Hmm.
that, and at first it took me a long time to really make my business around this. I'm like, this seems so
Hmm.
simple, but it's so necessary. What we do
Yeah.
with our clients on the home side is
Hmm.
that you talk about boundaries, organization, and sustainable systems in life.
Hmm.
Those really create blind spots when you don't have that private order. And
Yes.
so, having to have understanding those relationships that are energy suckers and how
Hmm.
to reposition that, looking at
Yeah.
the practical things like your email management system,
Hmm.
it messes
Yeah.
with the nervous system. It literally
Yeah.
creates stress when you open your email and you see, and really being able to figure out what is triggering the nervous system. Let's move you
Hmm.
to a peace place. For
Love
some
it.
people, it's the email. For some people, it's visual noise every time they get in their office or their closet.
Hmm.
It's too much,
Hmm.
so bringing that place of order again, exceptionally
Yes.
organized, going to your kids
Yes.
appointments, having all your things in place, your passports, your documents, children's information, doctor's appointments,
Hmm.
having those things organized where somebody can literally come in your absence and
Hmm.
lead in your absence. That's what it's about. Most
Yeah.
people in business, if they're seasoned, they know the whole Michael E. Gerber put it on the map about working in your business and not on your
Yeah.
business and getting that support. But
Yeah.
in the home life, it's not
Hmm.
being mirrored. There's
No.
no
Yes.
protein for the home life. There's no
Hmm.
executive assistant that knows how to manage both the home and the business life. And that's where I want to interrupt the pattern. I want to
Yes.
give leaders the infrastructure for their home life so they don't go 6 months missing a date night. I know
Girl.
they don't
Yes.
want to, but there's
Yeah.
so many leaders whose marriages are being snuffed. You talk about snuff
Yes.
just by one missed date night a month. They don't
Hmm.
even realize it. That's how it is. It creeps in, and
Yeah.
it creates this wedge. So the money is going up there,
Yeah.
but you don't see the
Yeah.
separation happening between the kids and the
Yes.
spouse. Oftentimes,
Girl.
until it's too late. So when I talk
Yes.
about legacy, if no one
Yes.
hears anything else I say, I want people to understand that you're not here just to build
Hmm.
a brand. You're
Hmm.
building legacy. It's a
Yes.
difference between building a brand and building a legacy. Just how you have a PR person for your business,
Hmm.
I have a PR person for your home. The PR
Hmm.
person takes, so you have a mission statement for your business, I have a mission statement for your family. And
Hmm.
basically, all the PR person does is they take your mission and they see they put wings on it, make it be the light.
Yes.
Our family mission is to love, live, give, and inspire. So
Yeah.
what we need to do is, how are we going to love? How are we showing that?
Yeah.
How are we going to love unconditionally, give
Yeah.
generously, love, live, and get love unconditionally, live intentionally,
Hmm.
give
Yeah.
generously, and inspire others to do the same. That
Girl.
takes intention. And everybody's family have a different mission based off of their heritage, their legacy, what means something to them.
Yes.
But that's the key, getting people to put as much effort and energy as they do in work and business, and
Hmm.
creating that infrastructure in their home life. And the reason why it's
Hmm.
so important is because their leadership is imparting, not just
Yes.
assets, but
Hmm.
imparting. The more intentional you are with
Hmm.
imparting financial wisdom into your children, when you
Yes.
build that empire, you can have a sound minded child that you can
Yes.
trust with
Yes.
everything you built. Do you know I have clients who have built these $500,000 companies, and they don't even have a child that is
Hmm.
matured enough,
Hmm.
grounded enough, that's healed and whole enough to
Yeah.
carry
That's
their
real.
legacy forward. And they have to
Girl,
end up
that's real.
giving it to somebody else who's not even part of the family. What are we
Hmm.
doing? That's counterproductive.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You have
that's
to
real.
live with the end in mind. That's
Hmm.
how
Yeah.
God built everything. He builds with
Yes.
the end in mind.
Yes. And in that, girl, I loved all of that. Just it's that divine legacy leadership that we talk about
Right.
all the time. It's so important, but also within that divine, know that and remember that because some people get down, they get hard on themselves if they just kind of like if they're on that path and there's a blip in the road, right? Because it's that perfectionist thing, right? That a lot of us are recovering from. Just know and understand that we are perfect in our imperfection. And life happens,
Mm-hmm.
right? Life happens, so we have to give ourselves space for grace, right? As we
Right.
need to give others that space for grace. But write the vision, make it plain, right? Do things
Right.
decently and in order. All of these things, these were all from the beginning
Yeah.
prescriptions that
Going back to the
somehow
original intent. It got
the
lost in the
original,
sauce.
the original into I love that girl. It did get
We
lost in the
got
sauce.
society. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
and moving so fast. These
Hmm.
key cornerstone principles that
Yes.
have created lasting, truth, and it's
Yes.
been lost. And so Dr.
Yes.
Miles Monroe says it the best when he
Yes.
says that as kingdom ambassadors, we were sent here to clarify the message. We're not trying to
Hmm.
change it. We're not
Nope.
trying to rebuttal against it, fight against it, and all that. We come to clarify it. Where they say
Yes.
this, we tweak it and say this, and not just
Yeah.
say, but
Yeah.
live, show
Live
it.
it.
People, this
Show it.
generation is looking for results. That's one thing I can say
Hmm.
about this generation. They are
Yeah.
not easily impressed. They have
No, they
so
are
much
not.
access at the fingertips. They made money, and what took us 10 years to make, they made it in 90 days. They're not impressed. You have to literally use your brain to explain to them, why do
Yeah.
I need to read every month? Why do I need to study my word? Why do I need to be a part of a spiritual community? Why? They think they can
Yeah.
get everything with just a
Yeah.
technology. So we
Yeah.
have to get more clever in our
Yes.
ability to influence. And the only
Hmm.
way I believe that we're going to create a fragrance for this new generation is that
Hmm.
our lives have to look like something they want to trade places with.
Girl,
If they're looking at us and we running around like a chicken with our head cut off,
right.
and
Right.
we're not living in abundance, and we're not, our health is, our body doesn't look like some of these celebrities' bodies,
Yeah.
and the reason why is because we don't have a protein. Of course, we're gonna look at these celebrities and these TikTok influencers who they're living a
Girl.
life that looks pleasurable. How can
Yes.
we make good success look pleasurable? And I can tell you this:
Girl.
we have to lean into community and ease. That's why I love your
Yes.
business model. My
Yeah.
business model is the same concept. You just
Likewise.
you just
Yes.
say yes. We
Hmm.
get you ready for an assistant. We give you an assistant that's going to get you ready for your
Hmm.
protein. We get you organized, and we're
Hmm.
moving for you. We're serving
Yes.
you so that
Yes.
you have a full cup to walk in your brilliance and to really make true impact, because nobody can do what you do like you do it.
No.
There's
Girl.
nobody. I'm trying to free the leaders so they can do what they are called to
To do.
do without
Yes.
having admin tasks and the onboarding and the sales and the
Yes.
marketing, and you don't have to do TikTok videos. You don't have to do a massive AI class. If you just
Yeah.
trust an infrastructure that
Yes.
got it for you so that you can be in your zone of extraordinary, those are the
Yes.
people that's going to win. I'm telling you, those are the people that are healed and whole enough
Mm-hmm.
to put that control down long enough to
Yes.
trust a
Oh.
professional. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
A professional, and trust themselves enough to move into an
Yes.
agreement with a professional.
Yes.
Their life will never be the same. They'll be free to be them
Never.
and to get paid for being them. That's the
Yes.
sweet spot. That's what good
Yes.
success looks like, you
They,
know?
girl, they will be free to be them here and up there, right? You know,
Yes.
that's the success, right? Oh, girl, look, that
Mhm.
was a mic drop because I was just about to ask you, girl. I've been trying to pump the brakes, girl, but you know, we could keep going and going.
I'm so passionate. Please forgive
Doctor,
me. I don't know. My friend be like, you gotta have a pause moment. So I just get the because it
girl,
just bubbles over. I want
girl,
people to be
yes,
completely free, Doc.
yes.
I want them to have complete freedom as it is on
Freedom and
earth,
joy.
as it is
Yes.
in heaven.
That was the
You know,
promise. As it is on
not
earth,
having to
as
wait.
heaven. Yes, yes,
Not even
girl.
having to wait till your kids graduate. No, the
Hmm.
power of now is here now.
Now, now. I want y'all, whoever's watching this on you, drop in the comments now.
Now.
Drop those
All caps.
nuggets in there now.
Now.
Freedom is
Now.
here. Oh my gosh.
Now.
Sis,
Whew, I feel that. Abundance
Dr.
is
M,
here now. Breakthrough
now,
is here now.
now,
Clarity is here now.
now,
Financial release is here now.
now.
Glory.
Yes. Oh, girl, look, you gonna make me run out this studio.
Listen, you have no idea what's happening inside of me right now.
We're trying to keep it cool. We're trying to keep it. Oh my goodness, Dr. M, thank you for joining me once again and having
My
this candid
pleasure.
conversation, not only for
Thanks for
our
having me.
souls, but for the souls of the audience. Girl, and look,
Mhm.
that was a mouthful, but do you feel anything else? Because I want to make sure you feel complete in the closing.
Yes,
Anything else you want to share?
all hearts and minds are clear. I really just
Yeah.
want all the listeners to really just take a pause moment to put their hand
Yes.
over their heart, because that's where the ligaments in the arm to connect with their hands and
Yes.
physically touch your heart. Take a deep breath in and breathe in everything you thought was normal, everything that you thought was how it should be, and literally release very slowly out. Release out the ideas, the thoughts, the old ways, even the success and the old achievements, so that you can make room and have capacity for what God wants to do next. I decree and declare that everyone that's listening under the sound of my voice is moving from this podcast with extreme clarity, with extreme obedience, and a sense of solitude to be obedient. Because as we know, obedience is better than sacrifice. It is time to obey, not tomorrow, but now.
Yes. Yes. Oh, girl.
Yeah. And it is
To
so.
God be the glory. Amen.
And
It is
so it is.
so. It is done.
So,
All you guys have to do is believe, have faith, and start moving forward, move into action. Thank you so much. Folks, you
my
need reach
pleasure.
out to
Thank you.
Dr. M. Yes, sis. Oh, you just a joy.
Yes, at
I
Dr. Minesha, anywhere at Dr. Minesha,
yeah.
and on Facebook, I'm active on Facebook as well, and I have virtual events every month. So definitely, I have free passes for your community. They can always hop on a virtual events. They can call them virtual
Thank you.
sanctuaries for
Yes, I
leaders.
love it.
Definitely
I
come
love it.
out. I also have a retreat as well in December. So if anybody happens to hear this before December of 2025, and you are a seasoned coach or you desire to be a coach and you don't want to handle all the back end and the onboarding and the sales calls and all that, I am looking for spirit-led seasoned coaches to send my clients to, high achieving moms who are looking for wise counsel. I want to
Mm,
collaborate. So
I love it.
definitely reach out.
Guys. Yes, reach out to Dr. M. Thank you so much, folks. Make sure you like this episode, you subscribe to this channel, you go back and watch the podcast if you missed it, the Define Your Path podcast with Dr. Minesha, and just set those notifications because you don't want to miss these life-giving conversations. Faithful, I'll leave you with this. The truth will set you free. And we just had a powerful truth conversation. So your call to action is to learn how to think without the boxes, unplug from the matrix, the old way of doing things, and lean into your soul call, right? You hear it, you know it. Heal, rebuild, transform, take off those masks, and walk in your soul's purpose. How did I do it? How did Dr. M do it? We had a candid conversation with our souls, with ourselves, right? And we finally chose us to pursue our soul's purpose. You can do it with faith as your foundation, conscious intuition as your guide. Listen to the spirit, plug in. You're able to be the captain of your fate and master of your soul. Oh, so good, so good. Just pivot. It's okay. And remember, your success is built on a firm foundation: mind, body, soul, and business. So once again, I'm Doc V, the Pivot Maestro and your corner woman right here on Candid Conversations TV. Always be true to you and define your own path in life and business. And we'll see you on our next episode. Dr. M, girl, it was a pleasure. Love you. Much love.
Absolutely. Pleasure all mine, for sure.
Bye, guys.
Awesome.